Hey, how we doing? Welcome to Geeks and Gamers Play. And who remembers the Lord of the Rings Gollum game that came out this year? The only thing you remember it for is probably for the memes and the fact that it is the worst reviewed game of the year so far. Keep in mind, Redfall came out this year. 2023 has been the year of the gaming apology. Even though there has been some bangers this year, we've seen a lot of apologies from developers releasing trash-ass, broken, unfinished games, and Lord of the Rings might have been my personal favorite apology, the fact that it said Lord of the Ring and not Lord of the Rings. Now, it turns out that ChatGPT may have been used in order to write that apology. What a fucking joke this game has become, man. So, in interviews with the German gaming outlet Game2, several former Daedalic staff members have spoken for the first time about what went wrong with the critically planned licensed game, of course being the piece of shit that we call Gollum. So, following the release of Gollum, the developers have apologized for what it called an underwhelming experience with the final game. The company said that we deeply regret that the game did not meet expectations and have pledged to improve it via updates. All the updates in the world ain't gonna fix this piece of shit. Anyway, it's now claimed that the apology was written with the AI software ChatGPT, according to two sources speaking to Game2. It's also claimed that the developer had no knowledge of the apology or its content prior to publishing, and that it was handled entirely by the publisher Nacon, however you pronounce it. So that's pretty funny within itself. They had no idea there was even an apology. They just woke up one morning and, oh, it turns out we've apologized for this game. Oh well. So at the time of the publishing, Gollum is currently the lowest rated game of the year on both sites such as Metacritic and OpenCritic, with The Guardian labeling it a derivative, uninteresting, and fundamentally broken stealth action adventure that fails to capture anything interesting about Tolkien's fiction. That's certainly one way to describe this piece of shit. So Gollum's budget is reported to be around 15 million euros, which is a modest sum for the game industry in a AAA space in 2023. That's a whole other thing within itself. That's crazy, man. Like, the fact that game budgets, that's considered modest these days. Anyway, there were people working on the game that have been developers for 10, 15, 20 years, and they're good, but they can't do magic because they weren't given the funds, said former senior developer and technical director Paul. So it's claimed in the video that due to running out of time before the 2023 release, several characters and cutscenes were meant to be animated were simply hidden from the player. So, for example, one scene was that showed Gollum eavesdropping on a conversation between two major characters, which was recorded, but was never animated. So they simply have Gollum look at a window and have the audio recording play, never fully showing the characters that were speaking. So you can't just throw money at something like that and hang on for another year and then everything will be fine. That's unrealistic because the game underneath doesn't support it, said Paul. It's also claimed that the argument system, which showed Gollum and Smeagol argue over which option to take in the game, was never finished. Yeesh. And a makeshift solution was added shortly before publication. Initially, the mechanic was supposed to replicate similar conversations in the films, which showed the camera angle changing perspectives between Gollum and Smeagol depending on which one was talking. That would have been a cool idea, but nope. So when the mechanic was first shown off in the preview phase, a similar presentation was used. However, when the game was eventually released, players simply picked from a few options of simple text, all while Gollum's lifeless character model floated in the background. Wow, what a fucking joke. I actually kind of believe this is real. Given the current state of AAA gaming, especially in the year 2023, I find it incredibly easy to believe, especially after reading that ChatGPT was used to write this apology. That would explain the certain part where it says Lord of the Ring and not Lord of the Rings, but you'd think maybe like an AI would get that right. Who knows? But you tell me how you feel about this in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to Geeks and Gamers Play and check out geeksgamers.com, and I'll see you all in the next video.